Attention, if we can start taking your seats, please, so we can start the ceremony in a few minutes. Once again, people, if we could start taking your seats, we'd really appreciate it. Thank you. This is the last call to please take your seats. Please, if we could take your seats, we could start the ceremony. Thank you. Also, if you have cell phones, we'd appreciate it if you would put them on silent. Once again, if you have a cell phone, if you could put it on silent, that would be a big help during this ceremony. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 2023 Pasadena City College Sports Hall of Fame ceremony. Today, we induct 10 former student athletes, 2 former coaches, and 3 of our greatest Lancers champion teams. We do so after an arduous passage of time that saw our college, our world, get through the COVID-19 pandemic. We were going to have a group of inductees ready back in 2020, but the pandemic changed all that. The Hall of Fame committee felt that it would not be in our best interest to go ahead with an induction ceremony until the health restrictions and mask restrictions were lifted. We thank you for your patience as we finally get back to a state of normalcy nearly 5 years after our last ceremony. We are so very pleased to get back to honoring our all-time PCC athletic greats. Before we start with our inductees, we have 2 special guests who would like to speak to all of you. First, please welcome to the microphone the mayor of the city of Pasadena, Victor Gordo.
How's everybody doing? Well, this is a Lancer house, so I'm going to try that one more time. How's everybody doing? All right. So I'm a former Lancer myself, and let me tell you something. Well, actually, let me correct myself again. There is no such thing as a former Lancer. Once a Lancer, always a... Once a Lancer, always a... That's right. And so I'm proud to be here in the Lancer house to honor all of our inductees. Pasadena City College has such a rich tradition that's fitting of a city like Pasadena. Pasadena is the center of the universe, and all of us who have grown up here know that. You know, there is no other city the size of Pasadena, about 145,000, 150,000 people, that commands a world stage like Pasadena does. And a lot of people, myself included, talk about the reasons why. JPL, Caltech, PCC, a Rose Parade, a Rose Bowl game, not played anywhere but at America Stadium, the Rose Bowl. But that's not why Pasadena is the center of the universe. We love to talk about those things, and they're fun to talk about, but Pasadena is the center of the universe because of the people of Pasadena. And today, we honor all of you who stepped foot on this campus and added to the lore of Pasadena. And so today, we induct you into our Hall of Fame because your contributions have helped to keep Pasadena the center of the universe. And so I, one, commend you, and two, thank you on behalf of all residents of Pasadena for your personal, individual, and team contributions to making Pasadena City College the great institution that it is, and making Pasadena and keeping Pasadena the center of the universe. So on behalf of all residents of Pasadena, on behalf of the Pasadena City Council, past, current, and future, I say thank you, and I say congratulations to each of you and to all of your families and teammates. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor Gordo. Now, please welcome to the microphone our PCC Superintendent President, Erica Androgenis.
All right, Lancers, let's hear it. Ooh. All right, there you go. And I'm gonna build on Mayor Gordo there. You are Lancers for life, and you are in the Lancers lair right now. So there you have it. The Big Blue House, Michigan got nothing on you people, right? I'm a huge football fan, just saying. So it is my absolute honor to be here to congratulate all of you who are being inducted into the Hall of Fame, either as an individual athlete, as a coach, as a team. It doesn't matter how you got here. What matters is you got here, and along the way, you did amazing things. You did amazing things for yourself as an athlete and as a student and as a coach, as whatever, but really, you did amazing work. And I would, there are 116 community colleges in California. 110 of them have athletics programs. We'd like to have all of them, but we only have 110. And I don't think there's a more supportive president, superintendent, president, or CEO out there when it comes to athletics than me. I firmly believe in the transformative power of athletics. And I spent a year as the vice chair and 2 years as the chair of the California Community College Athletic Association board. Took that board and the whole organization through COVID, which was very, very difficult because what do athletes want to do? They want to play. What do coaches want to do? They want to coach. And it was really difficult in that time period to have to say, no, you can't do either one of those things, or yes, you can do both of those things, but it has to look different. And I so appreciate how our athletes, our student athletes, how our coaches, how our staff, how our faculty, how everybody came together as team members, what you already know how to do, and you brought us through that. And I'm especially appreciative as I said, as a CEO who believes in the power of athletics. And at my last institution, when I went there, the college was $5 million in debt. And on my first day and for the next year, all I heard was, we'll just get rid of athletics. We'll just get rid of athletics. That'll solve all of your money problems. That never solves the money problems, ever, because athletics is more about what it costs. It's about the opportunities it gives to students, the opportunities it gives to coaches. And not everybody who comes and works as or serves as an athlete actually goes on to a D1, 2, or 3 school in some cases. That just might be the last time they get to be on a team and they get to feel that camaraderie and they get to really feel what it feels to be in shape and how powerful that is. That's why California community colleges need to not only have athletics, continue it, and in many cases, expand it, because there are more teams, there are more sports out there we need to look at. And you wouldn't believe it, but people are actually starting to say we should do pickleball. I mean, seriously. Anywho, I just want to say congratulations. Thank you for everything you did when you played here, and thank you for everything you've done since. And just wear that Hall of Fame honor, that sense of accomplishment with pride. You are Lancers for life, and we will never forget about you. We will always celebrate you. So congratulations.
Thank you, President Androgianis. Our first PCC 2023 inductee is going in posthumously. Men's track and field star from 1976, John Rudd. In the bicentennial year of our nation, John dominated the 400 intermediate hurdles event in community college track and field. Rudd set a PCC, state, and national record in winning the 400 meters title at the 1976 state meet in Bakersfield. He came to PCC after serving our country in the Army. His fastest time of 50.2 seconds broke fellow PCC Hall of Famer Grant Niederhaus's mark of 50.5 set just the previous year. Rudd's gold medal winning mark would have beaten the NCAA Division II champion as well. All the more amazing is that 47 years later, Rudd's time is the longest standing track and field record at PCC. Rudd received an invitation to race in the Olympic trials in 1976. He earned a scholarship to the University of Houston. Rudd passed away in 2020 at the age of 67 as one of the all-time PCC athletic greats. Our next inductee, she was a member of both the state's California Community College softball and women's volleyball Halls of Fame. This individual served as both a head coach at PCC in the two sports for more than a decade. She compiled a 128-win, 42-loss winning record in softball, including directing the Lancers to the 1976 SoCal Championship. In 1978, she was selected State Softball Coach of the Year. She directed 3 Metro Conference titles. She served as Women's Sports Athletic Director from 1975 to 1988 and hired 2 future PCC Hall of Famers in softball coach Sandy Iverson and volleyball coach Lori Jepson. This inductee's work on state's rules committees helped bring together men's and women's sports under one organization, the Commission on Athletics, now the 3C2A. and helped create the idea of state championship tournaments for women's athletics beginning in 1977. She was an instructor at Pasadena City College for 29 years before retiring in 1997. We are honored to induct 2023 Hall of Famer, Coach Joanne Zwanziger. Joanne could not make the ceremony due to a recent illness, but speaking on her behalf is her granddaughter, Biliana. Accompanied by Joanne's daughter, Sherry Hamilton.
Hello, so I am Brianna, obviously not Joanne here. I am her granddaughter. I am here with Joanne's daughter, Sherry and Carrie, who's still sitting, along with her other granddaughter, Courtney, and her two great-granddaughters, Madeline and Jalen. Unfortunately, my grandmother could not be here today because she came down with COVID this week. So as a child, I had the wonderful opportunity to follow my grandmother around and see all the people that she inspired and all the lives that she touched. Now her two great-granddaughters get the opportunity to witness another one of her amazing accomplishments. One of the many great lessons that my grandmother passed down to all of us is, as a woman, any door that we want to go through can be opened with hard work and determination. And once we open that door, don't forget to hold it open for the next generations to come. It's a lesson that we will continue to pass along, and along with stories from the amazing woman who is not just my grandmother, but a role model for who I hope to be someday. We are excited and proud that she is being honored by PCC for all the wonderful things that she did to grow opportunities for women in sports and education during her time here. She will be adding her Hall of Fame to two other honors from the California Coaches Association Hall of Fames, one for softball and one for volleyball. So Madeline, Jalen, you see where the bar is set, you're on deck, get ready. My grandmother did want me to share a few remarks, so here they are. Thank you, Robert Lewis, for all your hard work in putting in this Hall of Fame event together. It looks great. I'm sorry I couldn't be here today. COVID finally caught me. I've been looking forward to this event since I heard the news. I so wanted to be here to celebrate with all the other Hall of Famers. My 28 years at PCC is some of the best years of my teaching career. I had the privilege of working with some of the nicest, most dedicated, and professional women in my 36 years in education. My first years as department chair, I had the privilege of hiring two teachers/coaches and an athletic trainer. These two coaches went on to be in the Hall of Fame. Volleyball coach Lori Jepson, a PCC graduate who had just graduated from USC, and a softball coach, Sandy Iverson, who was playing pro ball. I knew they were the perfect fit, but the biggest difficulty was getting them to apply. But their mother stepped in, and the rest is PCC history. Athletic trainer Dr. Sherry Cameron completed this trio of hires. And also thanks to the best office mate that I could have wished for, Beverly Johnson. A special congrats to Elise King on your induction. It was a pleasure to coach you in softball. Thank you for my family for making the long trip out here today and speaking for me. And thank you, PCC, for this honor today. And lastly, I want to say, Grandma, we are so proud of you. We are so glad that we got to be here for this. Congratulations. We love you, and happy Mother's Day.
Our next inductee, racing on a Lancers men's track and field team that placed as high as the state runner-up in 1962. This man won the 120-yard high hurdles title at the state meet in a school record time of 14.1 seconds. He continued to race well after his college career ended and established many high marks in masters track and field events. In 2014, he was inducted in the USA Track and Field Masters Hall of Fame. He served as an assistant coach for PCC Track and Field and was instrumental in guiding a remarkable 3 consecutive state champions in the 400 hurdles in 1975, 76, and 77. Please welcome 2023 Hall of Fame inductee, Walt Butler. Your turn, sir.
Wow, what can I say except I have a lot of friends out there, and appreciate you guys coming. Guys like Gary Moody that went on to win the state championship. I had to coach him from the stand, but he came through for us to win. Nita House and all those guys, Rudd, and I like to say something to all of our, I hope Skip's here. Skip and I been boxing and fighting for over 60 years, but we never hit each other. So what I'm really trying to say, I wish the world would do that, and it would be a better place. And for working here, I worked in student activity and coached in the afternoon. So basically, I've been talking all my life, earning my living, but most of all, I learned a great deal by being here. And I can remember the state meet when Dave Morris won the 100. And I said, Dave, if we can get 2 more wins, we can get the 3rd place trophy. He says, I don't know. I said, I tell you what, I'll win the highs, then I'll come back and win the lows. That should put us right there. So to make a long story short, we scored enough points to bring the 3rd place trophy home. And the coach called the president of the college, 2 o'clock in the morning. He says, I have 2 young men here, have scored enough points for 3rd place. I have a lot of cash. What should I do with it? She says, if they can read and sign their name, give it to them. And once again, all my friends out there, I want to thank you, and thank you. It's been a long journey. Thank you much.
Our next inductee. Playing at a college known for its rushing game, this standout became the first real wide receiving threat in PCC history in 1972. A first-team All-American, he played on the Lancers team that finished 12-1, captured the Metropolitan Conference title, and reached the Potato Bowl as Pasadena City College closed out the season just 1 win short of the state championship. He caught then Lancers single-season records for most receptions at 59, most receiving yards with 1,205, averaging an impressive 20.4 yards a catch. He is still number 3 on the PCC all-time list for most receiving yards in a career. This man helped quarterback Rick Hullabuck set the then PCC passing yards record. This inductee earned a scholarship to the University of Nevada, Las Vegas. Please welcome 2023 Hall of Fame inductee, Jesse Roberts.
I'm going to keep this real short. It was a pleasure being here at PCC for the 2 years with Harvey Hyde. I'm sure most of the people in here that did anything at PCC went through Harvey Hyde to do it. So I'd like to thank him for everything he did for me while I was here. So Harvey, thank you. And I appreciate being able to play for PCC and enjoyed every minute of it. Thank you.
Our next inductee could not make today's ceremony, but told me she is incredibly honored for this achievement. Biliana Bosonic, women's basketball, 1991 to 1993. Few players in PCC women's basketball history had the skill set that Bosonic displayed in her 2 seasons as a Lancers forward. The 5'9" product of Yugoslavia was a rebounder, a passer, and can shoot well from the outside and the inside. Named South Coast Conference Most Valuable Player in her sophomore season, she averaged 21.6 points, 17.3 rebounds, 5.3 assists, 3.5 steals, and poured in a conference-high 71 baskets from the three-point range. Her 445 total rebounds in 26 games stood as a single-season record for 27 seasons. 5 times she scored 33 or more points, occupying 5 spots on the top 20 of the Lancers' all-time highest-scoring games. 3 times she recorded the rare feat of a triple-double. We are honored to have Biliana Bosonic enter the PCC Sports Hall of Fame. Our next inductee, he was a quarterback and leader of the last undefeated PCC football team in 1974. This star athlete was a big reason why the Lancers finished 10-0 in the regular season as the Metropolitan Conference champions and the JC Gridwire national champions. He rushed for 1,064 yards and was the Metro Player of the Year. In 2 seasons as a Lancer, he amassed 3,310 rushing and passing yards as the only Pasadena City College player to reach both the school's all-time rushing and all-time passing lists. After earning a scholarship to San Jose State and moving positions to wide receiver, he would go on to be a 10th-round selection by the St. Louis Cardinals in the 1977 NFL Rookie Draft. Please welcome 2023 Hall of Famer, Jim Legay.
Wow. 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 That's all I can say is wow. Thank the Lord. Well, I'm not going to lie. I'm going to be up for a while today. I got a lot to say. It's been 50 years, so I got a lot to say. First of all, I want to thank Robert Lewis for pursuing getting myself and my 74 team inducted. The whole team is inducted, instead of just me, because without them, I wouldn't be able to do what I did. Thank you, guys. I love you. Also, to the Hall of Fame Foundation, thank you for considering us for the nomination. And I want to, first of all, introduce my family. Could my family please stand? Because without them, I would be nothing. My wife, my son, please stand. My daughter, my grandsons. Wendell Tyler, I'm getting to you, Wendell Tyler. Both of my grandsons are on their way. One's going to Utah Tech and one's going to the Dominican University in New York. They both got scholarships. Congratulations. Also, I want to thank my aunt for flying halfway around the world to see me. She surprised me. I didn't know she was going to be here. Thank you, Auntie Jessica. Also, I want to thank all my neighbors and friends. Could my neighbors and friends stand up, please? Crenshaw High alumni, LAPD, Sheriff Department, Crenshaw High, San Jose State. Thank you. I love you guys. I can't believe you guys supported me. Like Rod Martin from the Oakland Raiders, MVP. Rod Martin, Oakland Raiders. Hey, he got 2 of these rings. He got 2 of Wendell Tyler's here with the Rams. Don McCall, Dallas Cowboys. Rodney Gooseby, Washington Redskins. And the Tarkanian family, I love y'all. Your dad was, next to Harvey, he was the greatest motivator. I mean, I thought I could do anything after talking to those guys. And I pretty much did it. Anyway, moving on. Wow. Thank you. I'm going to tell you a quick story. Myron shared it. We ran a sprint out offense. We had 5 running backs in my backfield that all ran 4.5s, 4.7s, 4.4s, and they were all league in Pasadena. So my second year after I finished, I ran track for 1 year. Thank you, Walt, Butler, and Skip Robinson for teaching me how to run. I ran myself out of position. I ran a 4.340. A quarterback doesn't run 4.340. So Myron and Harvey said, well, let's run the ball every play. So we pretty much did. I remember one play we called a off tackle left. We ran it like 3 times. The third time, I kept the ball and went the other way. There was nobody for 68 yards. I ran a 68-yard touchdown. So Harvey said, oh, that was a design play. I go, yeah, I designed that play. So anyway, again, Myron and Harvey, you guys had the vision of, there was no color line. You didn't care what color your quarterback was. The reason I'm saying this, the last Super Bowl, we had 2 African-American quarterbacks for the first time in NFL history. And that's why I love this school. There's no color line in this school. We're a Neapolitan. You know, if everybody looked the same, this would be a boring world, wouldn't it? So anyway, I thank God for Pasadena City College because I learned so much here that taught me how to move on to the next level. And I thank God for you. Also, happy Mother's Day to all you mothers out there. I don't want to leave that out. So in closing, I appreciate you guys for nominating me for this honor. And I was doing some research. Has there ever been another African-American quarterback inducted outside of Jackie Robinson? No. I'm the first. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you.
Well, we might as well keep this 74 thing going. Let's talk about one of the great teams in Lancers history. The 74 Lancers, the last undefeated gridiron squad in the history of the college at 10-0-1. PCC went a perfect 10-0 in the regular season, earning the JC Gridwire national title. Directed by PCC Hall of Fame coach Myron Tarkanian. The Lancers defeated El Camino 28-13 to complete an undefeated run to the Metropolitan Conference Championship. Highlighted by the play of All-American second-team linebacker Joe Smith. This team's defense was a beast. It shut out 3 opponents, limited all opponents to just 11.4 points a game. Offensively, the team was led by PCC Hall of Famer and MVP quarterback Jim Legay. and All-American and PCC Hall of Famer, lineman Ned Vesey. Also, key performers, punter Ken Crockett, and defensive lineman Malon McCoy. "19 players earned 4-year university scholarships from this squad. A 14-14 tie in the first round of the state playoffs ended the team's season abruptly as East Los Angeles advanced on the game tiebreaker. Total offensive yards. Well, I wasn't statting the game, but I could tell you that if I was statting, I might have played with the yards a little bit. It may have ended the season, but did not take away from a remarkable year in Lancers football history. Please welcome 2023 Hall of Fame inductees, the 1974 Pasadena City College football team. When you hear your name, please come on up to the stage and grab a hat. Ron Atkinson, Willie Bevel, Butch Bryan, Sloan Bunting, Brian Chandler, John Coates, Kim Crockett, Jeff DeSalvo, Randy Fowler, Lonnie Graffel, Greg Hatton, Eric Imhoff, Marlon Jackson, Tom Jones, Jim Legay, Walter Legay, Lars Maloney, Al Martini, Pat McIntyre, Malon McCoy, Fred McLean, Sidney Mitchell, Al Peviani, Dave Pintard, Glenn Roycroft, Lavelle Sanders, Tim Sanders, Jerome Schamberger, Greg Shaw, Jim Slaughter, Joe Smith, Dudley Stewart, Kessel Thompson, Ned Vesey, Coach Skip Robinson, Coach Al Luganbill, Coach Harvey Hyde, Speaking on behalf of the 74 team will be Joe Smith and then Kessel Thompson.
A lot's already been said today. I'd like to wish the late Myron Tarkanian a happy birthday. He was the big reason why we are here, a motivator. I remember mid-season after winning about 5 or 6 games, he said, you know, guys, I really like these weekends after a win. Can we keep that going? And somehow we were able to with guys like this. So, Kessel, got something to say?
All right. Hey, first of all, I want to thank everybody for showing up today and coming here for the class of 74. I was a running back, and God put us all together for a reason. When we were born, God said, well, Coach Harvey Hyde and Coach Skip are going to coach us, and we're going to win the national championship, and Coach Luganville and all these fantastic players around us. And then, you know what he said? We're going to add a cherry on top. When you're old and 68, 67, we're going to put you in the Hall of Fame. So we're in the Hall of Fame, and it's a wonderful thing. But I tell you what, these coaches, Coach Hyde, Coach Skip, Coach Luganville, and Mish, and Coach Robinson, and all the other coaches, they spoiled all the players because they treated us like family. And when we all went to San Jose and Washington State and Berkeley, all these other places, we were just a number. So I want to say thank you to the coaches for being a blessing and being life leaders, because I can go to them now and say, Coach, what should I do about this or that? And they're there for us. And also, I wanted to thank Walter Butler. Where you at, Walter? My man, Walter Butler. He coached me to the All-City Championship back in '69. So, and he's been coaching a lot of players through Pasadena, showing them how to run and trying to improve them. And I don't know if you know this, Walt's not going to tell you. If you talk to Walt for more than 5 minutes, he'd tell you, but I'm going to say it for him. Walt's been running up into your 70s, Walt, or 60s? 80s. Damn, how old are you, Walt? Okay, Walt ran, we know Walt's going to embellish a little bit, so we're going to say it to his 70s, but he's the fastest man in his age group in the nation. So that's Walter Butler. So I don't want to take up any more time, but I want to say all these players up here that I love you all, and glad to see you, and God bless you and your families, and may all your children and grandchildren be great in the land for all of you. God bless everybody. Thank you.
Take a picture. Jimmy.
We're going to take him backstage. Come backstage.
We do.
Wide receiver in front.
I'm Kim Crockett. I was the punter. I don't think I lettered, to tell you the truth. These guys were great to play with. Anyway, I wanted to get my 2 cents in there.
What's up, Kessel?
We don't want to get off. Good.
Say what? I don't know what you said. Hey? I'll be back up with y'all.
What a handsome family.
Our next inductee unfortunately could not be reached despite many attempts to locate her, but we're going to put her in this Hall of Fame because she deserves it. Kelly Hull from women's soccer, 1997 and 1999. A member of PCC's first ever women's soccer team in '97, Kelly Hull established herself as the most prolific scorer in Lancers history. The two-time All-South Coast Conference first-team forward set a still-existing school record for most goals and most points in that inaugural season under coach Sharif Zain. She scored 7 hat tricks, 4 of those in consecutive games. After a year off, she came back to play in '99 and finished her PCC career as the school's all-time leader in goals, assists, and points. Hull helped PCC to its first postseason appearance in 1999, winning an opening round game versus Palomar. The Lancers compiled an outstanding 29-8-2 record in her career. We accept Kelly Hull's induction into the PCC Sports Hall of Fame. Our next inductee. This man served on the Lancers football coaching staff for a remarkable 32 years, 10 in 3 different stints as head coach. In 2010, he became the all-time winningest head coach in PCC gridiron history with 53 career wins. As a head coach from 1987 to 1994, his teams won bowl championships in both 1990 and 92. He guided the play of 14 JC All-Americans. His 92 team finished 10-1 overall, winning the PCC-hosted Rose City Classic Bowl over College of the Desert. As an assistant coach, he took on many roles and was defensive coordinator of the 2001 Mission Conference champion Lancers. But before I call his name, I'm going to go out of my conservative role here as MC and tell a quick story. Back in 1991, I was interviewing for a 20-hour-a-week part-time position at Pasadena City College. That was when I had a full head of hair and about 45 pounds lighter. My final interview was with then External Relations Director Grover Goyne, and this head coach with a Lancers hat on. I was nervous, not exactly what it would be asked, and then Dr. Goyne starts off and says, Coach, any questions for Robert? And the coach says, yes. Can you do stats? And I said, I sure can. And he says, you're hired, big boy. And 32 years later, it is my great honor to congratulate 2023 Hall of Famer, Coach Dennis Gossard.
Thank God I didn't have to follow Walt Butler. First, I would like to take the opportunity to say how honored and humbled to be inducted with this great class of inductees. And I want to thank the Hall of Fame committee, especially Robert Lewis. People, you have no idea what it takes to put one of these on, and Robert works his behind off. And we want to thank Robert. Let's hear it for him. You only receive an honor like this if you were lucky to be surrounded by great bosses, coaches, players, support staff, equipment staff, counselors. And those are the people I need to thank today. I was so blessed to coach football for PCC for 32 years in the toughest conference and enjoy the greatest competition in the whole United States of America. How did I get here? When I was 18 years old, I was playing football at Glendale College. I really didn't like the coaches, but one. There was a young 25-year-old coach that had just been hired, and I loved the man to death. Never realizing that 13 years later, this coach and another coach would change my life forever. The name of the coach was Bill Sandstrom, and the other was Harvey Hyde. affectionately known as the Godfather. When I taught here at Pasadena City College, I had a mental health section and I had a video of Leo Buscaglia, the doctor of love, lecturing on a philosophy of life. He talked about risk in getting out of your comfort zone. Change and growth only happen if you're willing to take a risk. Don't be afraid to fail. Well, I went to Crescenta Valley High School, graduated in 1965, came back to teach and coach full-time in 1970. In those following years, we won 3 conference championships and a CIF championship in '73. I became the head coach in 1977 at CV and '78. I owned my own restaurant, The Great Grill. What a hell of a bad mistake that was. Nobody was more in their comfort zone than Dennis Gossard at that time. But for whatever reason, and I really can't remember now, Bill Sandstrom must have stepped in and said something to Harv. The next thing I remember, Jerry and I were having dinner with Linda, Hyde, and Harv. And a whole new world opened up to me. Remember, in the 60s and 70s in Crescenta Valley, everybody looked like me, a nice white Anglo-Saxon Protestant. When I came to Pasadena, a whole new world opened up. And the rest is history. And it's time to thank all those that made this possible. You can't be successful without strong leadership at the top. And I had 2 great bosses, Bill Sandstrom and the dean, Skip Robinson. People don't realize Skip was, I'm 1 year older than Skip. When I played at Crescenta Valley, he was at Pasadena High School. And I always like to tell the story. I embellish it a little. But Skip was a great player at Pasadena, and he's always been a great support for me, and I love him to death. My head coaches, Harvey Hyde, Larry Reisbig, Bill Sandstrom, Tom Marr, and again, I wanted a special thanks to Tom. I coached with Tom for 10 years, and believe it or not, I was coaching at 2 places at the same time. We didn't start practice here at PCC till about 4:30 or 5. So I went to Crescenta Valley, ran the offense from 2 to about 4, then came over to Pasadena and coached the defense. And Tom allowed me to do that, and I'm very grateful for that. Thank you so much, Tom. James Cook and Kenny Lawler. All the assistant coaches that I worked with, Dave Hoover, Tom Sweeney, Rick Girardi, Chuck Lyon, the late Ray Cole-Iron, Shannon Silva, Adonis Jones, all the support staff, Ed Simpson, head of EOP, John Hardy, trainers, Rudy and Patty, head equipment man, Terry Tapley, Sherry Cameron, our trainer, Ernestine Moore, Sherry Hassan, Don Williams, and of course, the great players we all had the privilege to coach, and many are here today. But last, but not certainly last, is my family. PCC was a family affair for the Gossards. At one time, when I was a head coach, my brother was the public address announcer. My other brother ran the chain crew. My son Hudson was the ball boy. My daughter Jessica was in the stands with my wife Jerry and my niece Stacy. So we had the whole gamut covered. At this time, I want to take the time to thank my 4 grandchildren, Brody 16, Levi 12, Ellie 7, Chance 5. My son-in-law, Scott Cole, who got his nursing degree right here upon this stage at PCC. My daughter-in-law, Cody, and her parents, Fred and Debbie Schumacher, for being here today. But the four of us, Jessica, Hudson, Jerry, and myself. Jessica was 4 years old when I first came here to PCC. Our son Hudson was not born until 1983, when I became the head coach in 1987. Let me tell you a couple stories. When Jessica was 10, Bill Sanson was the head coach, and we traveled to Tyler, Texas to play a football game. And Jerry stayed home with Hudson, and Jessica went with me. And, you know, there was no cheerleaders at that time that could travel. So I'll never forget, as we came out of the tunnel, Jessica had gone into the bathroom and got paper towels and made kind of a banner that said, "Go Lancers." She went to PCC and now teaches English at Rosemont Junior High and coaches the cheerleaders. Hudson was our ball boy, and for many years, he had that job. The one thing that when I look back at those years that I think of, he'd come to practice and I'd look down. Somehow he had chinnied up the goalpost and would be sitting on the crossbar 10 feet up. Thank God his mother wasn't at practice. Last, but certainly not least, is my wife, Jerry. What a gift. Just this July, we'll have been married 55 years. Been together since we were 16 years old. I wish I had a better grasp of the English language to convey to those that don't know this lady how special she really is. She is the most selfless person I've ever known. As a wife, mother, grandmother, or friend, there is no better. She truly is the wind beneath my wings, and I love her more every day. The last thing, it's a wonderful, but in one respect, a difficult day. For the first time since the inception of the Hall of Fame ceremony, someone is obviously missing from this annual celebration. The almost unbearable sadness many of us feel at the passing of Myron Tarkanian is surpassed only by the love and affection for him, which forever reside in our hearts. Myron Tarkanian was more than a leader, a mentor to so many that knew him. Myron Tarkanian was my friend. He was your friend. And regardless of the many hats that he wore, he always had time for all of us. He was always so giving and caring. It still hurts so bad that he is not with us here today. His smile, his straightforwardness, his honesty never changed. And that's the Myron Tarkanian we will remember, miss, and will forever love. Thank you so much.
Our next inductee. She was a prolific batter. This Lancer's great still holds Pasadena City College softball records for most hits in a career with 114 and the two highest on-base percentage marks, including a school record 593 as a freshman. This first baseman batted .468 in 1982, a batting average that stood as a school record for 22 years before it was broken by another PCC Hall of Famer, Sarah Sherman, in 2004. In 1981, this all-SoCal selection helped the Lancers win the conference title. As a sophomore in 1982, she was named Southern California Player of the Year, Metropolitan Conference MVP, and was Pasadena City College's Women's Athlete of the Year for all sports. At the 4-year level, she earned All-American honors, was a member of the 1983 College World Series All-Tournament team when she led Cal State Fullerton to a national runner-up finish. Please welcome 2023 Hall of Fame inductee, Elise King.
Thank you, Robert, and thank you to the Pasadena City College Foundation. I know it takes a lot of work to put on events like this, and it is truly, truly appreciated. I've been active in sports for a long time. And needless to say, during that time, I've had some very victorious and great experiences, and I've had some challenging ones, as we all have, right? All sports fans, we know what it's like to have a heartbreak. And my sister has coined the term for a sports heartbreak. She calls it sports pain. So whenever it's tough, it's sports pain. Are there any Golden State Warriors fans here? Yeah, right? So you know, sports pain, right? All right, go Lakers. Okay. So, out of all of the experiences that I've had over my lifetime, I actually was able to come up with one that I want to share with you today. I was reading the brochure, and it said that the first women's soccer team for PCC was in 1997, I believe. And I was like, wait, I was on the first women's soccer team. That means I'm younger than I thought. I was like, that's cool. And so finally I found a picture, and it was of the PCC women's soccer team, and it said 1981. I was like, oh man, oh well, that's all right. So what happened was, in that 1981 year, PCC got permission to have a soccer team. It was kind of at the last minute. So fellow inductee Joanne Zwanziger came up with a wonderful idea of just recruit all the athletes from all the other sports. So we all said, sure, we'll play. Now, only 2 of us knew anything about soccer. You know, this is back in 81, right? Only 2 of us knew. And unfortunately, I was not one of the 2. So my coach would say, oh, Elise, I love your hustle, but where are you going? The ball is back here. You can't just run up there. You know? But we really tried hard. We gave it our best. And so finally, the big game arrived. It's the middle of the season. We have not won a game. I don't even think we scored a goal, but we're giving it our best. But the big game's here. We are now playing the other worst team in the league. So we now have a chance to not lose. Now, I couldn't wrap my mind around winning, but we had a chance to not lose. So it's the middle of the game. I'm right wing, I think it's what it's called. I'm dribbling down. I get past what would be the 50-yard lines, whatever it is in soccer. And I just kick and I just launch the ball. It goes way up in the air, and it comes down right at the top left part of the goal, and it goes in. And the team, my teammates went crazy. They were yelling and screaming. The 2 spectators went wild. It was awesome. And I'm pretty sure the 2 spectators were Sandy Iverson and Lori Jepson, and they were just so proud of us. And But I was like, no, we gotta stay focused. I made myself stay focused. I didn't celebrate because I wanted to make sure we did not lose that game. So I didn't celebrate. I stayed cool. And unfortunately, we didn't score anymore that game. And more unfortunately, the other team scored 3 more times that game. So before we knew it, it was sports pain. So the sports pain, for some of my teammates, it didn't last that long. After just a few minutes, they were all laughing and joking about how much fun they had celebrating that goal. They had a good time. Soccer players run around and have a good time. So I was still like, man, I should have celebrated. I shouldn't have tried to delay that gratification. And so that's kind of been a little theme for me, that we're trying to do better, trying to celebrate those victories. Because life can be tough. We all work hard. But when you're blessed with something, celebrate those victories. Also important is to help others celebrate their victories. And that brings me to all of you. From the bottom of my heart, thank you all for being here. Thank you to my family for being here. My cousin Elaine posted the ceremony and congratulations to me on Facebook, and so all my friends from Pasadena High School class of 1980 sent me all this love on Facebook, so thank you to Pasadena. And thank you again to my family and friends that are here, and people that I would just mention it to. They would say, oh, I'm going to come. I'm like, really? Seriously, yeah. Thank you to my 3 aunts that flew out from Michigan. Here for Detroit. 2 of my aunts, they came willingly, all by themselves. My one aunt, she's a community activist, a political activist. She spoke before Congress. She's met President Biden and introduced him in events. And so for her, I told her that one of the inductees, her aunt, is Jill Biden. And so there's a really good chance that the President and Mrs. Biden, the First Lady, would be here. And so I'm pretty sure at the reception you'll be able to talk to them about, transportation, healthcare, whatever you want to talk about, So of course that got her here. So thank you for coming, Auntie Ray. She's here. I can't mention everyone's name, of course, but if you'll bear with me for just a few more minutes, I do have some more people I want to thank. I want to thank, as I mentioned already, Joanne Zwanziger, who isn't here. But Z was the athletic director when I was here at PCC. And she's just always encouraged me as a student and as an athlete. And I just want to thank her for that. I also want to thank my Cal State Fullerton softball coach, Judy Garman. Now, Judy Garman, when I played, that was back in the 80s. And as you all know, there is a huge inequity between women's sports and men's sports. But we didn't know it at Cal State Fullerton. Judy, under her leadership, she made sure we had the proper facilities. We had endurance training. We had strength training. We had sessions with a nationally recognized sports psychologist, Ken Revisa. She treated us like the NCAA Division I, #1 ranked team in the nation. That's how she treated us. There were expectations and there were consequences when those expectations were not met. We were disciplined. And it is truly an experience that I don't know if many other athletes have had, at least not in the 1980s. And Judy Garman, I hope you're watching. I don't know if I've ever told you this, but thank you so much for that experience. Now, the truth is, I wasn't ready for that level of intensity and competition right out of high school. I needed Pasadena City College. I needed my softball coach at PCC, Sandy Iverson. I remember one day, after a long practice, I mean, we had worked our butts off, and after that practice, Sandy goes, give me a lap around the block and call it a day. Now, we had just worked our butts off during that whole practice. So me, being the captain of the team and wanting to demonstrate my leadership skills, I said, the whole block? To which she replied, yes, the whole block. And if Elise King comes in last, you're all doing it again. And that was an unexpected response, but I needless to say, drop my gloves and we all go running around the block. So we're running, and I am tired. I seriously, I was tired, but I was like, okay, gotta go. Can't come in last. I want the whole team to get upset with me. So I'm just struggling, and I'm starting to pray now because I don't think I'm gonna make it. I'm thanking my mom, thanking my dad. So I come around the block, and I'm like, okay, I'm still going. So let me try to pass a few people because I can see the finish line now. And so I'm actually getting a little more energy because I can see the finish line. So I'm running, and pass some more with my teammates, and I did it. And I did it with a kick at the end. I was like, wow. So it's kind of now, I remember that. Whenever I'm going through things and things are getting tired and dragging out, I remember, Elise, you could do it. You've always got a kick at the end. So that really helped me. But Sandy Iverson, it is. I know you're out there somewhere, but with the light, I can't see you. There you go, okay. With, it's no secret as to why I spent 30 years at California Community College. And I've simply wanted to inspire other students and help them be their best because of the many ways you have inspired me and helped me to become my best. I thank you for that. Dad, there is no doubt where my love of sports come from. My dad, we love to watch sports together. I remember one time I went on a date with this guy. It was a daytime date, and we went to play tennis, and we came home, opened the door. The first thing my dad said was, "You beat him, didn't you?" I said, well, yeah. So I said, Dad, what is the big deal? Why is it a big deal if a girl beats a guy? He goes, well, personally, I wouldn't know. So I was like, that's my dad. That's my dad. So to this day, one of my favorite things to do is to sit with my dad and my sister and watch a game. We love cheering for Michigan. Where's the president? Go Blue. We don't need sports commentators. We got it covered. But thank you, Dad, for everything. Mom. That's always a tough one, right? Your mom. So I was thinking really hard. It's like, okay, how do I thank my mom for everything she's done for me for my 60 years on this earth? I know, 60 years. So I was thinking really hard. How do I do it? And it was hard to come up with something, so I did what I'm sure all of you would do. I asked Alexa. So I said, Alexa, how do I thank my mom for 60 years of love in 30 seconds? So Alexa was like, you need 60 hours. Alexa, I don't have 60 hours. It's a Hall of Fame ceremony, and I only have 30 seconds. Okay, buy her a house. No, Alexa, it's not a professional sports Hall of Fame ceremony. Okay, we're all amateurs. Okay, tell her you love her and buy her some flowers. So that I can do. Mom, I love you very much. I thank you for all the sacrifices you've made and how you continue to support me. And I don't know, there's Mom. And I don't know, Jacques, did you make it? Jacques, are you here? Where are you? Did you get him? She's got him? Okay, she should have. Those flowers are not for me, Mom. Jacques was supposed to fib for you, to you. They're actually for you. So thank you, Mom, for everything that you've done. You could just pass them down. And thank you all for bearing with me. Just one more thing. Thank you for the encouragement. He's saying go for it. I appreciate that. 'Cause I'm like, I'm talking too long. Thank you. One more thing. Adrian, my sister. Adrian, can you stand up for just a minute? Here, Adrian. My dear sister, I love you. God loves you, and so do I. I appreciate you're always praying for me. I appreciate you're always reminding me to just have fun. Just have fun. It's one last thing, one quick thing. In my classrooms, what I often do, especially if I teach at night, which I don't anymore, but when I taught at night, you know, everybody has their lives going on, and there are some times when you have a class at 6 or 7, and you just don't want to go. You're tired, you want to go home and eat, but sometimes you push through and you come to class. So I would, you know, ask who's had a tough day, but who came anyway? And I'd have that person come up to the front of the class, and we would just give them a big round of applause, a big standing ovation. So if you all do me a favor, I'm going to do a little different variation of that. But for my sister, if you would all help me through sound and through energy, help me through your applause, show her how much I love her and how proud of her that I am. On the count of 3. Thank you all very much. Thank you. I know I took a little longer. For those who were so short, they gave me their minutes. But thank you all. Congratulations to all of the honorees this afternoon. And again, thank you to Pasadena City College. Thank you.
Aren't you glad we're not the Academy Awards and turning on the music? It's time for another team. The 1978 Lancers men's track and field team. The Lancers won the first ever state championship in the sport after also capturing the Metropolitan Conference and Southern California team titles. Head coach and PCC Hall of Famer Skip Robinson became the first African American to direct a state champion PCC team. The only Lancer to win an individual state title at that meet captured 2 first-place medals in Hall of Famer Kenny Hayes. Kenny broke Jackie Robinson's 40-year-old school national record in the long jump with a leap of 26 feet, 2 3/4 inches. Unbelievable. Hayes also won the triple jump state title with a school record 51.7½. Sidney Mitchell placed second in the long jump event and remarkably also broke Robinson's record at 25.7¼ Eddie Wright in the 800 meters, Rod Gooseby in the 200 meters, Rod Smith in the high jump, Matt Fuchs in the javelin, all set Pasadena City College records in their events. Please welcome 2023 Hall of Fame inductees, the 1978 Pasadena City College men's track and field team. When you hear your name, please come on up to the stage and grab a hat. Selwyn Brereton, Derek Dancer, Andre Frazier, Rodney Gooseby, Dean Greenaway, Kenny Hayes, Kevin Jackson, Dwayne LaCour, Sidney Mitchell, Joe Smith, Jace Ward, Coach Jesse Gomez, and the head coach of that team, Skip Robinson.
Closer, man. We gotta get them a shot. You can see everybody. You can see everybody. Okay. Where do I begin? Okay. I want to take this time to give some thanks to people that made this ceremony happen. And it is really the greatest, biggest Hall of Fame ceremony we've had. I've been involved with the Hall of Fame ceremonies since they started as the athletic director back in the early 2001. But I want to thank the Pasadena City College administration for their support and help in making this happen. I want to thank Bobby Abrams and the foundation for their help in promoting and making this a terrific event today. This is not easy to do. This is big time. So I want to thank the foundation. Also want to thank the selection committee for coming up with these terrific athletes. I mean, we have so much history of athletes doing a terrific, unbelievable jobs on the court, on the field, and so forth. And this is not easy. It's not been an easy task. But I want to give a special thanks out to Robert Lewis. Robert is our chairman of the the Hall of Fame Selection Committee, and he's also the sports information director here. This guy has spent a lot of time putting this together. So Robert, thank you. Now today we're here to honor the 1978 state championship track team that is now getting inducted to the PCC Hall of Fame. And it was 45 years ago that this happened. And 45 years ago, and I can't think of last year, but 45 years ago was a long time ago, and I remember that, oh yeah, we did do that. We made history, and we did, because we became the first track and field team in the history of Pasadena City College to win a California state track championship. And as I recall that particular time, that was in May of 1978. And what comes to mind now is that was the year that my wife was pregnant with our first child. And the state track meet was the end of May. And I'm thinking to myself, please just hold on to after the track meet before you have this baby. You know, we got a big track meet going on up at the end of May. Can you just hold on? In which he did. My daughter was born in June of that year, June 12th. And I want to thank my wife, Iris. You're out there somewhere. Where are you? Stand up. Stand up. There you go. Thank you. And so 1978 was a very good year. And, you know, the program started with me being the head track coach in 1974. And I'll tell you a real quick story. I had never been a head coach of anything. And so I get a call from Armin Serafian, who was the president of the college at the time. And Coach Larry Knuth was moving on, so they needed a track coach. And I had run track in high school. I was at Pasadena high school, track and field, hurdler and track and so forth. And he calls me up to his office, and I'm coaching football. So football was my thing. That's where I excelled at. So Myron Tarkanian was the head football coach at the time. So, you know, I was telling the coaches, yeah, the president wants to talk to me about this track thing. I'm not sure I want to do that, you know. So they're all looking at me, well, you got to go talk to him. I said, okay, I'll go talk to him. I'll never forget this. Myron Tarkanian said, when you come back, you'll be the head track coach. And I looked at him like, man, are you kidding me? I'll just turn it down to the president. Can't tell me what to do. So I'll never forget walking back into the football office. Who do I see at the door with Myron Tarkanian? He has this big smile on his face. He says, congratulations, head track coach. And I said, yeah, I think I can do that, Myron. And so that's how I began. And then I had the assistance of Walt Butler and some other people, Jesse Gomez, and some other people that to assist me. But the program had not got to the level that it finally did later on, a few years later. So in 74, we were okay, so forth. 75, we had a state champion in Grant Niederhaus who ran the 440 high intermediate hurdles, and he also set a national record. And so that brought up a lot of attention. You know, you have a state champion and someone that'll set a national record, you will get recognition, you'll get attention. So the next year we had John Rudd, who just got inducted into the Sports Hall of Fame. He broke Niederhaus's record the next year, and Grant wasn't very happy about that, but that's how competition is, and that's how success goes. In the next year, 1977, was a very good track team. That track team had won the Metropolitan Conference, it won the Southern Cal Championships, and was favored to win the state championship. However, we just didn't have a good day. But there were a lot of freshmen on that 77 team. We ended up, I think, in 4th place in the state meet. But there were a lot of freshmen, and they said, next year we'll win it all. I said, okay, let's do it. And they did it. Now, we had guys that came from all over the country to run track at Pasadena City College.
All over.
We had all over, okay.
All over the world.
All over the world. We had guys from Australia, Japan, Germany, Finland, the islands, and a lot of local, Pasadena, John Muir, Blair, PHS, yes, yeah.
And I was his translator.
No, we had guys from Jamaica and the islands too, but it was a good run. We had some good teams, and it was a great experience for us all. And I just want to say a few more things. That these guys that were freshmen pledged to do this, and they were determined to win this thing, and they did.
And so I was so proud of them. But I think Robert mentioned that in the 78 state championship, two guys did something unbelievable. It was never done in community college anywhere in the country. Long jump, Kenny Hayes and Sidney Mitchell. They both broke the legendary Mac Robinson and Jackie Robinson school record here. And what they did was no team, no school, no community college ever had two long jumpers to perform the feat that they did in 1978 in the state track meet. 26.2 1/4 and 25.7 1/2, I think, with Sidney and Kenny Hayes. So that was quite an accomplishment. So I was really proud of that. That was something. And so the success that we've had, you know, a lot of it, people think it's, the coaches, this and that. Well, I will take some of that as a pat on the back. But no, it was the hard work that these guys did and their determination to be the best. And it didn't just happen with them training themselves. It was a result of my assistant coaches that I had. I have two assistant coaches that are also Hall of Famers. Coach Jesse Gomez and the new inductee, Walt Butler. Jesse handled our distance runners, Walt handled our hurdlers. And we also had Pat Williams, who was also one of our coaches. He handled the jumps. And we had Mickey Anderson was also one of our jump coaches, the late Mickey Anderson. And we had the late Big Bill Johnson, who was our coordinator. He was our recruiting coordinator. And we had the late Rich Millis, who was also involved with the weights and the throws. And so I just want to say, you know, guys, the success we had, it was you guys and your determination to be successful. Pasadena City College has a rich history of winning. The men, the women have done a tremendous job of athletic accomplishments here at Pasadena City College. In my years as a student athlete, as a coach, and as an athletic athletic administrator, I am really, really proud of our accomplishments here. In Pasadena City College, I will be a Lancer for life. One last thing. I look at the 74 football team that's inducted. Boy, you guys were really, really good. I look at my guys that I coached, Tommy Jones, Greg Shaw, Jimmy Slaughter, and Ricky Law. I'm not sure Ricky's here. Okay. And Bevel, yeah. Those are some good years, headed up by our head coach, Myron Tarkanian. Then I look at Coach Luganbill's team, 77 team. I coached a lot of those guys when they were freshmen on the 76 team that went on the next year to be outstanding athletes. So, in closing, I want to thank Pasadena City College. I want to thank all of the support people that came out to support their family and friends here today. And let's just keep this going. This is really good stuff. Okay? Thank you, Pasadena City College.
couple of reminders. There will be a reception right after the ceremony, and that's going to be about the Court of Champions. And we'd like everyone to please go on over there. There'll be snacks and water and drinks, and also you'll have a chance to look at the other Hall of Fame plaques that are adorning our walls of the GM building. It's a really great sight, and we'd really love for you to go on over there after the ceremony. Our next inductee. He was a state prep champion from Kentucky. This aquatic star brought his talents to PCC and was part of head coach Ron Ballator's Lancers swim dynasty. Named team captain, he swam on 2 state champion teams in 1977 and 78, and twice was the state champion himself in the versatile 400-yard individual medley event. As a freshman, his 4-minute, 7.75 seconds time in 1977 was the nation's fastest mark among community colleges. That time stood as a school record for 34 years before being broken in 2011. The 2-time All-American had the second best national time as a sophomore. He went on to swim for an NCAA Division II champion team at Cal State Northridge in 1979. Please welcome 2023 Hall of Fame inductee, J.C. Barnett.
Wow. You'd think technology and Photoshop would improve that photo a little bit after all these years. As you can probably figure out, the Pasadena campus in 77, 78 with a state champion track team, football team, and swim team was kind of a unique place as far as that goes. I came to Pasadena as a simple John Barnett. And I was, to be honest, was kind of terrified. I came all the way across country. I was looking at Clemson, I was looking at Texas A&M, I was looking at East Carolina, but no, when I told my parents I'd like to go to Pasadena, I want to swim for Ballatori, they said, okay. They didn't make a big deal. They said, you made your choice. Let's go with it. But I was a little terrified. I was definitely intimidated being a part of Ballatori's swim team. I didn't know anything about my new teammates, who were from all over the world, all over the country, all over California, okay? We were all from different towns, different cities, different countries. We seemed to have nothing in common. I was proven wrong on the first day. It seemed that we were lucky. I learned very quickly that I was part of the best team. I had the best teammates. I was part of the best athletic community, the best academic community that a person could ever hope for. And swimming being an individual sport that competes as a team, Ballatori's team was very unique. Those differences that I talked about earlier made us stronger, bound us together in a common effort towards our goals. It gave us a confidence. This campus gave us a confidence that carried us through 2 metros, 2 SoCals, 2 state championships, and 2 national championships. At that time, national championships between us and NJCAA were done by a computer, as it was back in the 70s, because the 2 groups did not compete. But I found myself grateful today. I'm grateful to Mrs. Tingley, Jack Tingley, an earlier member of the Hall of Fame, who's also from Louisville, Kentucky, who encouraged me and gave me confidence to travel so far. To my parents, who gave me the opportunities and who would come out and follow the team from Bakersfield to East LA to West Valley to wherever the team was for the last month of each season. I'm very grateful to the Aikens, Glenn Aiken's parents, Granny Aiken. We had a team grandmother. Glenn's older sister, who adopted me and made me part of their family so far from my old Kentucky home. That's my single joke right there. But me being here, I was never alone. For those people that were around every day, to those people who saw me at my best, saw me at my worst, and everything in between, to those people that are always there to support me, no matter what the situation, to those people who push me to be the best athlete and person I could possibly be, to those people who believe in me even when I didn't believe in myself. And I can never say thank you enough. I was never on the block alone. As time has passed, several speakers have talked about the Lancer family. And that's truly what I got out of my experience at Pasadena. To this day, until 2 days ago, we have always been in contact with each other. Our kids know each other. We call each other on our birthday. We call each other Christmas. This team, this brothers and sisters, has grown into my Lancer family. And to those who could not be with us today, Dan Bernard, Clark Wilson, Anders Otterson, you are always and forever in our heart. Thank you.
Before we announce the next inductee, I just wanted to do a shout out because yesterday in the Southern California Championships, we had a women's track and field athlete come within 1 inch of tying the women's discus throw record, Liz Gazanchian. How about that? 144 feet, 5 inches. Liz Gazanchian nearly ties a school record. Our next inductee. While few women in the history of women's track and field at PCC have even attempted to try the pole vault, this former gymnast took the event to its highest level in 2001. She set the then Community College national record in the pole vault at 12 feet 7 inches at the U.S. Elite Meet in Chula Vista. She went on to record the pole vault Triple Crown by winning the South Coast Conference, Southern California, and then state titles. This field phenom broke the state meet record in leaping 12.2 on her first attempt at American River College, a full foot higher than the rest of the field. Her 12.7 mark remains a school record. Please welcome 2023 Hall of Fame inductee, Elizabeth Heskett.
Well, thank you for that. Good afternoon. I do want to thank the committee for this special opportunity to be inducted into the Pasadena City College Hall of Fame. I do have to tell you, well, first I would like to thank God, my family, and my friends that supported me during those crazy pole vault years. And I do have to say that when I received the phone call about this event, I had to chuckle a little bit because it seemed like such a lifetime ago. And then I thought to myself, it had been a lifetime ago. Since those pole vault years, I got married. I have 6 wonderful children. And I have embraced this crazy military life. In the 22 years since I set that record jump, a lot has happened. Some of the lessons I learned in my athletic days, such as determination, perseverance, dedication, and navigating failures and successes, I have leaned on in this crazy life I have created since setting that record. Thank you again for this opportunity. I am humbled and grateful to be part of the Pasadena City College Hall of Fame. And I do have one quick funny story. So Jesse was, I guess, kind of my assistant coach. And oftentimes he would be always saying, "God bless America." And one day I asked him, I said, "Jesse, why do you always say that?" And he said, "Well, I have a problem with cursing, and I'm really trying to curb that." And so instead, I say, "God bless America." And I did hear that quite often, so. But again, thank you for this great opportunity to be inducted into the Pasadena City College Hall of Fame. Thanks.
It's getting late in the fourth quarter. This next inductee, he was a defensive force on back-to-back Lancers Bowl teams. This Lancer great totaled a still-standing PCC career record for sacks with 17. He was a two-time All-Mission Conference first-team selection. In his sophomore year, the talented linebacker led the squad in tackles with 86. He made 9 sacks. He set a school record with 39 quarterback hurries, and he earned JC All-American first-team honors. As a freshman, he helped the Lancers win their only Mission Conference championship on a 10-1 PCC squad. He was the Pasadena Quarterbacks Club Community College Player of the Year. He would go on to have the distinction of playing in college bowl games in all 4 of his years, the last 2 while at Virginia Tech. In 2004, he started on an ACC champion team that made it to the Sugar Bowl. Please welcome 2023 Hall of Fame inductee, James Griffin.
They must have knew I was going to talk all day. Good afternoon. I'd like to first thank my Lord, Savior, Jesus Christ. I'm so blessed and honored to be here today. I'd like to congratulate my fellow Hall of Fame inductees here today. Thank you, guys. Great jobs. A lot of you guys I knew. I would also like to thank the PCC Foundation, Administration, and Athletic Department. Next, I would like to thank the legendary award winner, Robert Lewis. You have been a blessing for PCC Athletic Department. Thank you, Robert. My family sacrificed a lot for me to come to California, so today is their day also. I would like to thank my mother for being my prayer partner, best friend. I love you, Mom, so much. Next, I would like to thank my dad. You have always been my superhero. You pushed me to chase my dreams and never give up. I love you, Daddy. To my sister, sis, thanks for being my #1 fan. You've always been there for me. I love you so much. Also to my niece and nephew, you guys have always been my why. I'm so proud to be your uncle. To my 81-year-old grandmother that's back home in Memphis who could not make it today, when I was ready to make this move to California, you told me, go live your life. I love you, Grandma. My Uncle Rob is here. Thanks, Unc, for being my support staff. You never missed a game wherever I played. You was always there for me. I love you. Y'all gonna be clapping all night. I got a lot of people to thank. Just to let you know that now. All right. To my beautiful wife, thank you for 8 wonderful years. I think I've been talking about the Hall of Fame since we met. You know what this school means to me, and you know what the city of Pasadena means to me. You're our best mom for our son, Boston. I love you so much. Moving on, I'd like to thank my 2 football families, starting with the amazing people that I work with at Fullerton College. Tim Burns, Garrett Campbell, Brian Crooks, Phil Austin. You guys are my family. You've watched me grow as a man and as a coach. Thank you guys, I love you. I would also like to thank my modern day family and the legendary coach Bruce Rollison, our new head coach Frank McMinnis, Pat Dubar, and the rest of the coaching staff. Coach Rollo, thank you for everything you have done for modern day football. I will always remember leading up to the CIF championship last year at the Rose Bowl. You were so excited to lead your team out the tunnel. I could hear it in your voice. I said, Rollo, how cool is that? Rollo said, Griff, I'm taking you home to Pasadena. Coach, thank you for taking me home on your last ride. I'm going to miss our Saturday mornings. My faith is stronger because of the brotherhood. I love you, Coach. This journey to the PCC Hall of Fame started with 3 high school teammates chasing a dream in an Astro van. We drove from Memphis to Pasadena in 28 hours, only to stop and eat and use the restroom. I think we was more excited to see the Rose Bowl. Out of the 3 of us, only 2 of us stayed. As Coach Moore would say, the driver left and 2 players stayed. I want to thank my brother Jimmy Williams, my little big brother. I'm a Hall of Famer because I followed you everywhere. You said you was coming to California. I said, I'm coming with you. You said you was going to Virginia Tech. I said, I'm coming with you. Thank you for always protecting me. You always said, let G-Ball ball. You're the best player I ever went up against and the best friend I always wanted. Love you, bro. I would like to thank all my amazing teammates. A lot of these guys were roommates. The infamous Lancer House. Those guys know what I'm talking about who laughing. The infamous Lancer House. Every kid, the cool fact is every kid in that house graduated from PCC. Every kid in that house went on to play at a Division 1A school. I know I heard some cool facts about y'all teams, but we had 70 kids in my 2 years get scholarships, the most ever in PCC history. Bunch of those names: David Harley, Chuck Jones, Boo Faulkner, Jason Myers, Levi Bradley, Dre Bradford, Kurt Lothar, Alex Godfrey, Andre Godfrey, Ryan Arnold, Nathan Chandler, the late, great John Moore Cooper, better known as J-Mo. Emmanuel Valcourt, Big E, Mario Brown. During my playing time, I had 2 amazing teammates affect my life forever. One of them is Hall of Famer Jonathan Smith and Sean Phillips. Jay Smooth, thank you for showing me how to be a dad. You kept Lil Johnny with you at all times. Whenever Leon, Pat, and Otto and me would take our weekly trips to Vegas, because I partied when I was at PCC. I'm known for it. Your son was your priority. When you broke Mr. Robertson's record, you put a spotlight on JC football that was well needed. Thank you for always being a phone call away whenever I need you. Love you, big bro. Sean, you've been my best friend for over 22 years. The first day I got to California, you were there for me. I was your best man in your wedding. That meant the world to me. Wherever in the world I was playing football, you made sure you was there for me. You are the brother I always wanted. Also like to thank Sean's mom, Miss Phillips. I would not be here today if you didn't let me stay in your home. If you didn't let me stay at your home over the summers so I could attend summer school classes. You always treated me like a son. Thank you. I love you guys. Played on 2 amazing teams with a lot of great support staff and coaches. You don't get in the Hall of Fame without being surrounded by great people. I would like to thank our athletic trainers, Rudy and Patty, for everything you did for me and my teammates. You made sure every week we was ready to go. You two saved my career, and you know what I'm talking about. I'm so thankful for both of you. You can clap for them, because I'm not here because of Rudy. I also like to thank the best equipment manager ever, Coach Tapp, and the late, great Stevie. If I wanted something, you guys made sure I had it. Tapp was an Oregon Duck, so I thought he was thinking I'm going to go there, but I wasn't going there. I wasn't going. But Tapp made sure I had everything. I love you, Tapp. Next, I would like to thank our athletic director. At the time, it was the legendary Skip Robinson. Give it up for Skip. Skip, thank you for being there for all of us as a mentor. I love coming upstairs and just sitting in your office, and when I needed an expensive knee brace, that's funny, you said, I would get that knee brace for you, but you better perform. I'll try to use your voice, Skip, but I couldn't do it. Thank you for giving us everything we need to be successful here at PCC. Next, I would like to thank all my coaches, Coach Meek, Coach Clark, Coach Whips, Coach Odom, Coach Snyder, Coach Alvarez, Coach Gales, Coach Ingalls, Coach Mollett, and Coach John Paredes. Coach JP, you were my uncle, my preacher. You kept me out of trouble, and now we work together. I love you, JP. Coach Goss. You can clap for my guy. That's my guy. Coach Goss, the Bear defense, reckless abandon, the grifter, can do no wrong. Coach, I always remember you showing me that video of Florida State defense. You said, don't worry about anything, just seek and destroy. Coach, you gave me the defense so I can be here today. I love you so much, Coach. Last but not least, my coach, my mentor, my second father, Thomas Francis Marr, the second. That's Big Jim call you. You ought to love somebody that much if you know they full government name. Coach, thank you so much for everything you did for myself and Jimmy. We found you. You didn't have to recruit us. We found you. Coach Mark, greatness can sometimes be misunderstood, but if you work hard and you love people and you can understand why Tom Marr is the best ever at what he does. Coach, you changed my life forever. In the spring of '02, we had just came off a 10-1 season, and Robert, I need that 10-1 season. We need to be in the Hall of Fame. They already know we got 4 Hall of Famers. And we were sitting in your office, and you asked me, Griff, do you want to win a national championship? I said, yes. He said, how about you go in the back office, call every kid, ask them to come play with you. Also tell them that you committed to LSU. At the time, I was committed to LSU. So I started calling all these kids, and 5 of those kids came. 22 years later, I'm still calling kids because you, Coach Marr. I still use your lines. I still work on Sundays. Coach, you gave me all of you. I would like to thank your wife and your 2 kids for sharing you with us. Coach, I'd like to thank you for picking up the phone in 2011. I called you, I was crying, which I call you a lot at night. I called him about 12 o'clock, 1 in the morning. Sorry. Because I was lost and I was making a lot of bad decisions. You said, Griff, go back to school. I'm gonna say that again. This is 2011, this was 10 years, well, 4 years after I had just got done with my playing career, and I was pretty lost. And Coach, I call Coach Moore a lot, man. He's special to me, and I love him a lot. But I called Coach and I said, Coach, I'm lost, and I don't know what to do right now. And he said, go back to school, Griff, because I hadn't graduated from college yet. I was still chasing the NFL and in the CFL and playing everywhere, just chasing football. And Coach said, go back to school. Whenever you're done, call me. I called you back and I said, Coach, I'm working on my master's degree now. Then you replied, whenever you're done, move back to California, let's start your coaching journey. Well, today, I've won 2 national championship trophies. I done helped over 250 plus kids go to college. I coached a game in the Rose Bowl, and I got to work with the greatest coach in high school football history, all because of you, Coach. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Coach Moore. And my final remarks, always believe in yourself. Even when no one else believes in you, you have to believe in yourself. Always keep your faith strong. Please keep your faith strong, because he's always watching. And with that said, I sincerely believe that one day I'm going to walk down those halls at Robinson Stadium, lead a team onto the field as the next head football coach here at Pasadena City College. Because this place has always been called home for me. God bless everyone. Happy Mother's Day, and thank you for your time.
Before we do our last inductee, I have a few thank yous myself. I'd like to thank the PCC Foundation, Director Bobby Abram, and especially Hall of Fame event planner Chris McPeak and her staff with Lisa Velasco and Clara Lee. They did a lot of work, a lot of preparation to set this up. I also want to thank Gilbert Rivera for his exceptional work on a new PCC Hall of Fame logo right here. He also helped create the Today's Souvenir Program Guide and his tireless work at the college over the years. I want to thank Rochelle Allen for his work on the photos in the frames for all of your Hall of Fame plaques, and Charles Jones for his craftsmanship on the frames. Charles has been doing our frames for years and years. I'd also like to thank Steve Dietrich and Gloria Wong from Staging Services and their staff on their work on this event. And finally, thank you to the PCC athletics staff, Athletic Director Jackie Johnson, equipment attendants Eric Valadez and Ryan Cardona for their help, and Terry Stoddard, thank you again for helping out. Also a reminder again that we'll have the reception afterward and the Court of Champions. And also, you're going to be allowed to take photos with these plaques up here at the conclusion of the ceremony. Here we go. One more team. Arguably the most talented Lancers football team. James Griffin said that 2001, but 77 was pretty darn good. The 1977 Lancers proved their worth in finishing 11-1, winning the Metropolitan Conference crown, the state championship, and the JC National Championship. In front of more than 15,000 fans, PCC routed Jones, Mississippi 38-9 to win the Junior Rose Bowl under head coach Al Luganbill. This team featured All-Americans and future veteran NFL players in PCC Hall of Fame defensive lineman Jim Wilkes, longtime player for the New Orleans Saints, kicker Mike Lansford from the Los Angeles Rams, as well as other pros in Mike Dennis and Danny Pittman. They both played for the New York Giants. Lansford, who holds several PCC kicking records, made the game-winning field goal to beat College of Sequoia 24-21 in the Potato Bowl. Quarterback Sheldon Paris went on to be a first-round draft pick in the Canadian Football League. Alonzo Brooks, an All-American the following season, set a PCC record for sacks in a game with 4.5 versus El Camino. A group of 25 Lancers earned 4-year university scholarships from this special unit. Please welcome 2023 Hall of Fame inductees, the 1977 PCC football team. When you hear your name, please come on up to the stage and grab a hat. Don Andrade, Dwayne Ball, David Bale, Dwayne Benton, Alonzo Brooks, John Brown, Keith Brown, Lee Carter, Scott Decker, James DeCure, Michael Dennis, Damian Gokachia, Jeff Horton, Darren Jenkins, Adonis Jones, Kenneth Jones, Michael Kinnaw, Mike Lansford, Michael McClellan, Todd Machero, Ken Michelasco, Stephen Nuss, Sheldon Paris, Phil Pickard, Danny Pittman, Roberto Ray, Bill Schifrin, Paul Washington, subbing for D. Taylor, Johnny Taylor, Jim Wilkes, Ronnie Wynn, Coach Harvey Hyde, and the head coach of that Lancer team, Al Luganbill.
Put your hats on, boys. We can't do this.
To say the least, this is a they're a great group. That's why they won. I'm extremely fortunate, but I'm not sure people really understand what Pasadena City College football is all about from that era. It was a special time in a special place with special people. And it all started in 1968 when Harvey Hyde and Myron Tarkanian were here as co-head coaches. And Bill Sandstrom was their right-hand person. So all three of them came in at the same time. These guys had grown up together. So it was always a we deal. It wasn't an I deal. I was not something we used. It was we. So with that being said, as time went on, through various reasons, we were able to oversee a program that dominated junior college football for at least a decade to 2 decades, and then that set the stage with the Skip Robinsons and the Dennis Gossards and the Tom Mars. Remember, they all had one common denominator. One common denominator. They had either played for or worked with Harvey Hyde, Myron Tarkanian, Bill Sandstrom. A lot of people don't realize that. And this just didn't happen. It was something that they put together. And I'm proud to say, I walked in here today, and who do I see on the front cover? And I don't know how many of you noticed. If you want to know what Myron Tarkanian looked like, that's him. On the front cover of the program, his family takes up 3 rows. No, I'm sorry. 1 straight row across there of the greatest people that you have ever met. And congratulations to them. There is one individual that I need to add to that group that has been my partner going on to 54 years now, and that's my wife, Sue. All right. She is not only a great wife, she's the best mother you could ever want to have as a young'un growing up. I was fortunate enough to have twins, a daughter named Carrie and a son named Tom. And not unlike his father, he's been very, very blessed to make a living off of a sport. Can you believe it? To get to stand up here and be a part of this. And it's a game. But I think I understand what it is when people get hooked on something, whether it be a substance or whatever. Because I've been hooked on football forever. And it's part of myself, and I know it's part of this group. They played like it. They deserved everything they earned. The 74 team, totally different squads in relationship to how we did things. Our group, whether it was in 74, we were doing things on offense that our offensive line and our running backs, and God bless the wide receivers for buying in, and our quarterback, what they could do. And in 77, we were a completely different team. We ran the ball well and we threw it well because that's what the quarterback could do. And so it wasn't an I, it was a we, the coaches, the players. We had an off-season program. We had a Lancer way of doing business. And it did not change for at least 2 decades. And so when you talk about winning and you see all the great athletes that have come through here, and through the Mar regime and through Skip as an athletic director, there was always that touch to a structure that was extremely successful. I remember I kind of chuckled today when Skip got up and he said, he's the only one beside myself that's going to bring up this name right now, and that's Dr. Serafian. What a character. But you talk about a college president, athletics and specifically football were important. And he supported it like it was important. And so everybody says, well, boy, you guys won a lot. Yeah, we won a lot because that's what the expectation was from the top. We sometimes make this too complicated. It's not complicated. You have strong leadership that believes in something, and then you get good people to execute it. I never threw a pass. I never handed off a ball, ever, nor did I want to with this crew. But what I'm saying is the game is bigger than all of us, and there's so many people, and they will tell you that as you go through life, you relate back to the experiences that you had in the greatest sport, team sport, because to get 11 people on the same page at the same time and do it 60 to 70 times within a 2 to 3 hour period, there isn't any wagers in Las Vegas. There's no odds on that because it's an extremely tough thing to do. I would like to, again, as everybody else has, thank Pasadena City College, thank the administration here, thank the foundation here. The members of the foundation, I hope you realize exactly what this has meant to everybody that's out there, whether they were individuals or teams. It has been a phenomenal experience. And I know, and I say this, none of us will ever forget it. But the end result is you always, when you're in competitive athletics, you feel a heck of a lot better after a win than you do when things haven't gone your way. And yeah, in this room, you understand that. I'm not speaking to a crowd here that doesn't understand the awesome feeling of winning and the agony of losing. But isn't that what life's about? It really is. Not everything's going to go your way. So in the end result, when it's all said and done, and we say goodbye, in the end result, you had more good days because it's how you treat adversity. It's how you treat adversity. You're in charge of that. And I get, if there's anything that bothers me more, is the fact that people are too easily influenced by blaming something else or something for something that they have control over. And I truly believe that these, I'm not calling them young anymore. I can't do that, can I? There's none of them. None of them. Now, Billy, you're close. You're close, but I'm not sure. Do you think he colors his hair? Okay. But what I'm saying here is to have those relationships are just, you can't put a price tag on it. You just can't. And so, again, my thanks to you, Harv, Tarkanian family, Skip, and your wonderful family in Pasadena City College. Now, one last thing. We also were here at a time when the college had a tremendous tradition and a trend, but it was old. Facilities were old. And I look now and I see the facilities on this campus, and I'm sitting there and I'm saying, and I think, Tom, you were, and Goss, you were blessed in playing in the new stadiums and the new locker rooms and all that. Didn't change how you played on the field. That all boiled down to the people and the we factor. So again, thank you, and certainly appreciate it. And this has been an absolutely first-class event. Am I correct, guys? Thank you. Appreciate it.
Couple reminders. There will be a reception at the Court of Champions, and we promised that we would allow for photos and to be taken up here on the stage if we could do it in an orderly fashion. And finally, I'd like to thank you all for attending the 2023 PCC Sports Hall of Fame ceremony. Thank you all.